Hello, stargazers and cosmic thrill seekers. Welcome back to Galactic Guidance, your intergalactic hub for all the juicy gossip the universe has to offer on astrology, personal development, and relationships. I'm your host, your trusty astrological ally, and your cosmic confidant. Today we're blasting off on a tantalizing trek through the Zodiac, diving headfirst into the swirling vortex of trust and the fiery pits of jealousy in relationships. Sounds spicy, right? Whether you're an impulsive Aries, a possessive Taurus, or a dreamy Pisces, this video has got something for you. We're going to uncover the tantalizing truths about how each sign handles trust and wrestles with the green-eyed monster of jealousy. So strap in, grab your popcorn, and prepare for a wild ride through the cosmos. And remember, while the stars may guide us, you're the one in the driver's seat of your life. Ready to launch? 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Aries, you fiery ram, you're as subtle as a sledgehammer and as delicate as a bull in a china shop. When it comes to trust, you're all in. You dive headfirst into the pool of trust, not even checking if there's water in it. You give your trust freely and fully, like a kid sharing their candy on the playground. It's a beautiful thing, really. But when that trust is broken, oh boy, the fireworks. It's like a volcanic eruption, sudden and explosive. Now, Aries, we need to talk. Your trust is a precious thing. Don't just give it away like free samples at a supermarket. It's not a buy one, get one free deal. It's more like a limited edition, priceless artifact. It needs to be earned, not just handed out willy-nilly. And when it comes to jealousy, you're like a race car at the starting line, revving your engine, ready to zoom off at the slightest hint of competition. But remember, not every friendly chat your partner has is a cause for a showdown. Not every smile they give is a declaration of love. So take a breath, count to 10, and maybe even 20 before you charge. Remember, Aries, trust is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's not about who gets there first, it's about who stays the course. And jealousy, well, it's like a pesky fly. The more you chase it, the more it buzzes around. So let it be. Focus on building trust, not chasing shadows. Taurus, our steady bull, you're as loyal as they come. You're like a human vault. Once you lock that trust in, it's there to stay. You guard it like a dragon guards its treasure, fierce and unyielding. But oh, your jealousy. It's like a well-cooked stew, slow to heat up, but once it's simmering, everyone better watch out. Here's the deal, Taurus. Your loyalty is a beautiful thing. But remember, your partner is not the latest gadget you've bought. They don't come with an ownership tag. They're not a piece of furniture to be owned. They're a person to be loved. So when the green-eyed monster of jealousy rears its head, remind yourself, a little space and trust go a long way in keeping a relationship healthy. And when it comes to trust, it's not about locking it away in a vault. It's about sharing it, nurturing it, letting it grow. It's like a garden. You can't just plant the seeds and walk away. You need to water it, tend to it, give it sunlight. And jealousy, well, it's like weeds in your garden. If you let it grow, it'll choke your beautiful plants. So pull it out from the roots. Don't let it take over your garden of trust. Gemini, the lively twins, you're as unpredictable as a roller coaster ride and as changeable as the weather. When it comes to trust, you're a bit of a paradox. On one hand, you're open-minded and adaptable, ready to see the best in people. On the other hand, your dual nature can make you a bit fickle, causing you to question the trust you've given. Now, Gemini, let's have a heart-to-heart. Trust isn't a pair of shoes that you change according to your mood. It's more like a precious gem that needs to be cherished and protected. So when you're in one of your moods, instead of doubting the trust you've given, try to remember why you gave it in the first place. As for jealousy, you're like a butterfly, flitting from one emotion to another. One moment you're cool as a cucumber, the next you're green with envy. But here's the thing, Gemini, jealousy is like a shadow. It grows bigger and scarier the more you run from it. So instead of flitting away, try facing it head on. Talk about your feelings, express your insecurities, and you might just find that your shadow isn't as scary as you thought. Cancer, the nurturing crab, you're as protective as a mother bear and as sensitive as a poet. When it comes to trust, you're cautious. You're like a crab, slowly and carefully moving towards trust, ready to retreat into your shell at the first sign of danger. But once you give your trust, it's as deep and enduring as the ocean. But here's the thing, Cancer. While your caution is understandable, it can also prevent you from experiencing the beauty of trust. Trust is like a leap of faith. It's scary, yes, but it's also exhilarating. So don't let your fear hold you back. Take the leap, and you might just find that the fall is worth it. When it comes to jealousy, you're like a stormy sea, calm one moment and turbulent the next. But remember, Cancer, storms pass. They're not permanent, so when you feel the waves of jealousy rising, remind yourself that this too shall pass. Instead of letting the storm carry you away, try to anchor yourself in the trust you've built. Leo, the regal lion, you're as bold as a sunrise and as warm as a summer's day. When it comes to trust, you're like a king or queen in their castle. You give your trust generously, like a royal bestowing gifts upon their subjects. But when that trust is betrayed, it's like a revolt in your kingdom, and woe betide the one who caused it. Now, Leo, let's have a royal council. Your trust is a precious jewel in your crown. Don't just give it away like it's confetti at a parade. It's not a token to be handed out to anyone who flatters you. It's a treasure to be earned. And when it comes to jealousy, remember, not every glance your partner receives is a threat to your throne. So hold your head high, adjust your crown, and rule your kingdom with grace and dignity. Virgo, the meticulous virgin, you're as precise as a Swiss watch and as practical as a multi-tool. When it comes to trust, you're like a scientist in their lab. You analyze, you observe, you test. You don't just give your trust, you make sure it's earned and deserved. But here's the thing, Virgo. While your analytical approach is commendable, it can also prevent you from experiencing the beauty of trust. Trust isn't a formula to be solved or a puzzle to be put together. It's a feeling, a connection, a bond. So don't let your analysis paralyze you. Take a leap of faith, and you might just find that the fall is worth it. When it comes to jealousy, you're like a detective on a case, looking for clues, reading between the lines. But remember, Virgo, not everything is a clue. Not everything has a hidden meaning. So put down your magnifying glass, take off your detective hat, and try to enjoy the relationship for what it is, not what your mind thinks it could be. Libra, the harmonious scales, you are as balanced as a tightrope walker and as charming as a diplomat. When it comes to trust, you're like a judge in a courtroom. You weigh the evidence, you listen to both sides, and then you make your decision. You don't just give your trust, you make sure it's deserved. But here's the thing, Libra, while your balanced approach is admirable, it can also lead to indecisiveness. Trust isn't always black and white, it's often a shade of gray. So don't let your quest for balance tip you into indecision. Take a stand, make a choice, and you might just find that the risk is worth it. When it comes to jealousy, you're like a diplomat in a delicate negotiation. You try to keep the peace, to maintain the balance, but remember, Libra, not all peace is good and not all conflict is bad. Sometimes expressing your jealousy, your fears, your insecurities can lead to a deeper understanding and a stronger bond. So don't shy away from conflict. Embrace it, navigate it, and you might just find that it leads to a more balanced relationship. Scorpio, the intense Scorpion, you're as deep as the ocean and as mysterious as the night sky. When it comes to trust, you're like a secret agent on a mission. You observe, you analyze, you probe. You don't just give your trust, you make sure it's earned and deserved. But here's the thing, Scorpio. While your intensity is captivating, it can also lead to suspicion. Trust isn't a mission to be accomplished, it's a journey to be experienced. So don't let your intensity turn into obsession. Take a step back, breathe, and let the journey of trust unfold naturally. When it comes to jealousy, you're like a volcano, calm on the surface but bubbling with intensity underneath. But remember, Scorpio, not all eruptions are beneficial. Sometimes they cause more harm than good. So when you feel the lava of jealousy rising, try to channel it into a constructive conversation instead of a destructive eruption. Sagittarius, the adventurous archer, you're as free as a bird and as optimistic as a sunrise. When it comes to trust, you're like a traveler on a journey. You're open to new experiences, ready to meet new people, and willing to give your trust freely. But when that trust is betrayed, it's like a storm on your travel day, unexpected and disruptive. Now, Sagittarius, let's have a chat. Your trust is a precious passport. Don't just give it away like it's a travel brochure. It's not a ticket to be handed out to anyone who promises an adventure. It's a privilege to be earned. And when it comes to jealousy, remember, not every friendly chat your partner has is a detour from your journey together. So hold on to your optimism, adjust your compass, and continue your journey with faith and trust. Capricorn, the ambitious goat, you're as steady as a mountain and as practical as a planner. When it comes to trust, you're like a builder constructing a skyscraper. You lay the foundation, you build it brick by brick, and you make sure it's strong and secure. But when that trust is betrayed, it's like a crack in your skyscraper, threatening and alarming. But here's the thing, Capricorn, while your practicality is commendable, it can also lead to rigidity. Trust isn't a building to be constructed, it's a garden to be nurtured. It's not about strength and security, it's about growth and flexibility. So don't let your practicality turn into inflexibility. Take a step back, breathe, and let the garden of trust grow naturally. When it comes to jealousy, you're like a mountain, calm and steady on the surface, but with a core of molten lava underneath. But remember, Capricorn, not all eruptions are beneficial. Sometimes they cause more harm than good. So when you feel the lava of jealousy rising, try to channel it into a constructive conversation instead of a destructive eruption. Aquarius, the innovative water bearer, you're as unique as a snowflake and as independent as a cat. When it comes to trust, you're like a scientist conducting an experiment. You observe, you analyze, you test. You don't just give your trust, you make sure it's earned and deserved. But here's the thing, Aquarius, while your uniqueness is captivating, it can also lead to detachment. Trust isn't an experiment to be conducted, it's a connection to be felt. It's not about analysis and observation, it's about emotion and intuition. So don't let your uniqueness turn into aloofness. Take a step back, breathe, and let the connection of trust develop naturally. When it comes to jealousy, you're like a winter's day, cool and detached on the surface, but with a storm brewing underneath. But remember, Aquarius, not all storms are beneficial. Sometimes they cause more harm than good. So when you feel the storm of jealousy brewing, try to channel it into a constructive conversation instead of a destructive tempest. Pisces, the intuitive fish, you're as deep as the ocean and as dreamy as a starry night. When it comes to trust, you're like a poet writing a sonnet. You feel, you dream, you trust. You don't just give your trust, you pour it out like a waterfall. But here's the thing, Pisces, while your intuition is beautiful, it can also lead to disillusionment. Trust isn't a poem to be written, it's a reality to be lived. It's not about dreams and feelings, it's about actions and evidence. So don't let your dreaminess turn into naivety. Take a step back, breathe, and let the reality of trust unfold naturally. When it comes to jealousy, you're like a calm lake, serene and peaceful on the surface, but with a whirlpool spinning underneath. But remember, Pisces, not all whirlpools are beneficial. Sometimes they pull you under and cause you to drown. So when you feel the whirlpool of jealousy spinning, try to channel it into a constructive conversation instead of a destructive vortex. And there you have it, cosmic thrill seekers. We've rocketed through the Zodiac, exploring the tantalizing terrain of trust and the fiery pits of jealousy in relationships. I hope this interstellar journey has given you some out-of-this-world insights that you can bring back to your earthly relationships. If you enjoyed this wild ride and found it helpful, don't be shy. Give that like button a good old cosmic punch and share this video with your friends. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Galactic Guidance for more juicy gossip from the cosmos. Remember, the stars may guide us, but it's you who steers the spaceship. So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep shining. This is your host signing off. Until next time, stay stellar and keep your love life out of the black hole.